know, it has been live, and you guys saw me typing and humming. Probably the Saints are coming in or something like that. Hey, check me out at twitch.tv/Lore Reloaded. Technically would probably be on there instead of here, if not for the new Picard stuff. You can also hit me up at twitter.com/Lore Reloaded, where I am constantly 100% always active. So we're going to test this out, see what you guys are going, see if you want to have this discussion, see if it's even going out to YouTube, which will be very interesting. And then we'll just start breaking down the Picard trailer. Now, I will say this. I have a video coming out tomorrow that is going to be in-depth breaking it down as well. You guys will definitively need to check that out too. So if we're going to do it here, you have to watch it there. And I just realized that a couple of days ago, I had a live stream, and I then did all my laundry and put the same shirt today, even though it's clean. It doesn't look like it. Now I know why we got the memes that I only have 3 shirts. Jason Link says, thank you, Lorehead. Better than a drunk solo Commander Cocky. What are you talking about? Commander Cocky is awesome. What's going on? Ripley Riley, a really good friend of mine. Pretty awesome. Andrew Maddox Hype. Awesome. I got you as soon as you got started. Well, C. Jackson, I knew that you would be wanting to watch it. So that's why we're here. All right. So we'll just break this down and get right into it. Give me a quick second. Again, I will have it live tomorrow as well on an uploaded video. You still got to watch that because that's just how I roll. All right, we'll go right here and then hit this button, hit that. There we go. And of course, as we're walking through it, we're going to, I'll be taking all of your lovely words and messages and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to enjoy the living hell out of this, right? What's going on, Broken Eyes? All right, here we are. So this is going to be the Picard new trailer or whatever. Going to do it scene by scene. Do it live, as they say. Definitely give me your opinions. Charles Ryland Lee singing to me, I'm assuming. What's going on? All right, here we go. Continuum Trek is excited for the new show. So we got Picard. I'm going to jump past a couple of scenes as well because they're generally just establishing shots. I mean, we all know that he starts at the vineyard with his new CGI watering what the heck ever. The first really scene of quote-unquote necessary importance is one of the most bland scenes, I guess, on planet Earth. Now, I get that you normies like Continuum Trek would be okay with this and just say, oh, look, it's Data. It's an establishing shot. You don't even know it's an establishing shot because you're a normie. But let me enlighten you as a film student. This is boring as hell. I know you don't care, but I care, and this is my show, and hey, I guess I just want people to unsubscribe. This is boring as hell. There's nothing really interesting to it, having him in the dead middle, but again, it's just letting us know that Data's there. He's painting something. At this point, though, I'll say this. As soon as I saw this, and we learn it later, I knew it was a dream sequence, because obviously that's a little weird to have. The next scene, or next piece, and I will say, even if this is dull or seems weird to you guys, the close-up on the painting is very significant, at least from a film student perspective. It means there's something important going on there. So what's he drawing or what's going on with that? Let's get to it. Since the painting's so important, we're going to take a look at it first. Do we? I think we get it. Yeah. So what the heck is he sitting here and drawing? What Data is in the middle of the field. It's obviously a dream sequence. Something's going on with whoever is dreaming this. It's either dreaming or something ethereal. And they're drawing what looks to be I'm going to guess, female on the side of the ocean, on a beachfront of some sort, without the face. Now, for me, and tell me if you guys agree with this, what she's wearing seems very Vulcan. It seems very the original series and early TNG Vulcan when it comes to the clothes and such as that. I'd be curious what your guys' opinion are on that, but this is apparently extremely important. We get 3 different we get 3 different shots with it, 2 of them close-ups and also with the brush. But I'd be curious what your guys' thoughts are. Have you heard anything about the new Borg Queen? Well, I haven't heard that there is a new Borg Queen, so that is quite. Call me Normie again, and I will. Not sure what I'm going to do. Yeah, Normie. So yeah, I mean, not to Paul, but definitely like Spock's mother wore this, and a lot of the Vulcans wore this type of garb. It was just the original series and the Next Generation thing. And there's another piece to this, I think, that we're going to be bringing back up. But I don't know. I'd be curious. Remember to lick the like button. That is true. And definitely share it out on social so we can all have a conversation. Has she or he got horns? I don't see any horns with it. I don't even... Let's see. Can we back up? Sorry, I can't play it all the way through because God help CBS. Somebody enjoy it. I don't see any horns. I think that's more just the painting of it, but... As you can see, it looks like there may be horns there. I don't think those are actual horns. It's Molly O'Brien. We figured it out, guys. Molly O'Brien. Fun fact, a few hours ago, Trek Yards did a breakdown too. Yeah, I imagine every Trek channel from here to Kathmandu has been doing a breakdown on this. I almost didn't do it because I don't like following trends like that. But I got enough of a feeling of the actual video and enough requests that I figured. I think it's painting Beverly. Yes, he is. All right, so the painting aside, we see both Picard and Data in their TNG uniforms. Again, this is clue number 2 for everyone who didn't know or was surprised that this was a actual dream sequence or fevered pitch dream or the last few things of a dying man on his dying bed. The interaction between Data and Picard is also intriguing, as Data is asking if he wants to paint, and Picard says he doesn't know how. And Data, of course, calls him a liar and says he does know how it ends. Let me ask you guys this. Now, this is maybe looking too deep into it, and it may be more of my film background, but this is obviously a dream. We know that for sure. If it's a dream, why is Picard dreaming of himself in as old? And why is Data not the way he remembers Data? Why is Data fatter than he was? So, of course, people are going to say, well, that's how the characters are now. However, my response to that is we have technology. And we've also seen it done, specifically with Patrick Stewart, where Patrick Stewart can be made to look young. And you actually can make someone look skinnier, depending on how you use the camera angle, as well as just digitally not remastering, but digitally doing it as well, right? Digitally touching it up. So they have the technology to make it where he looks like he would have during the Next Generation. Both of them, but they don't. So the question there would be why? Now, real life money or things like that, though they spend a stupid amount of money on this show, so I don't think that's as much as an issue as people would make it out to be. Is it possible Picard yearning for the past, but accepting that he'll never be that way? Going back to, I don't want to say that he has PTSD, but we know that he has a ton of regrets in the Next Generation, the last episode there. So is it possible that this is kind of a reflection on that, where he wants to go back, but he knows he can't. And so it's kind of him fighting himself. Again, I'm probably looking too much into it, but that would be really intriguing if that was kind of a writing reason for it. Definitely something I would have done. I hate this damn thing. All right. Something I would have done is if we weren't able to or couldn't address the way they look, I would have given a reason, a plot point for it. And I think that might have been an intriguing way. Again, I know I'm looking too far into this. I don't even know why you guys watch this. I'm so boring. Show us on the screen where the digital artist touched you. Y'all are horrible. Joseph Petrick. They're not digitally updating them because they are not vain. It's not a vanity thing. To digitally update them or go back would be more consistent with the way actual dreams work. Generally, sometimes we'll see ourselves as we know ourselves to be, if we see ourselves at all. But we mostly see people the way we remember or want to remember them. So it's not a vanity thing as much as it is a consistency thing, or perhaps a writing plot point. So, I mean, you say what you want. Say what you want. But the immortal super being, it's like he is Data and Data is Picard, with him saying he doesn't know and Data saying liar. Interesting. I am jealous of them. You got it. That's what it is. All right, so let's continue going. 88 watching, only 32 likes. I don't see how many watching. If you like this and you want me to do more like this, more breakdowns, hit that like button, people. Hit it. Just don't be afraid of it. All right, so again, Data asks him to paint. He says he doesn't know how, or he doesn't know what to paint. Data calls him a liar. Data then goes to hand him the brush, and during that point, we then see our first scene of some form of battle. Now, there's actually an interesting thing I noticed between this battle and the painting. That's probably me looking too much into it, but we'll go into that at a later point. I tried to find on the internet to see where these ships or who these ships might belong to see if there's any kind of correlation between anything we've seen in the past. As far as I can tell, this configuration isn't really all that consistent with any other species that have ever fought the Federation or Starfleet. The one thing I will say, it's leaning pretty heavily Romulan. There's a lot of bias here, and we know the Romulans are heavily involved. Looking at the way these ships are designed, they do have similarities to Romulan design, at least TNG and on. A lot of ships that are Romulan designed have specifically a more triangular look, as well as obviously green, and things on the end when it comes to the wings. Now, these don't have anything on the wings necessarily, but we do have the whatever those green lights are on all of them. I guess those could be disruptors, aren't consistent with what I've seen. I don't think Romulan warships have red disruptors. They might. You guys can correct me on that. I don't believe that they do. Lore Reloaded, even if it is a dream, Data would probably be more like he was in All Good Things, not as he is on screen. Yeah. These two laser beams make the V from the original miniseries. So we've confirmed that the V from the miniseries has been confirmed here. So good going. Data was painting Michael Burnham. He was. You and Trek Yards are both live streaming the same topic right now. Well, that's fantastic. Green for the port on the left ship. Yeah, again, that's what I was somewhat saying. The fact that they are... You see the green, the different green aspects here. But beyond that, there's not a lot. Now, I am leaning towards Romulan, and we'll see why very shortly. Those could be Klingon ships. I don't know, RGD. I don't see why or how they're Klingon ships. Romulan ships actually did have disruptors, Charles Ryanley. They had disruptors in both the original series and the Next Generation. The Klingons bailed out the Romulans with the Birds of Prey, just like how they shared the same D7 in TOS. I'm not seeing Klingon here. I don't know where you guys are getting that. I'm honest to God not seeing Klingon. These aren't consistent with any Klingon design we have ever seen. And generally, now, while ships have defenses on their back, generally Klingon ships have the bulk of their weapons on the fore. These are attacking from behind and under the ship, which is not, again, consistent with generally any design we've ever seen from the Klingons. It is consistent with Starfleet design as well as Romulan design, but Starfleet design, again, more has saucer sections, more has multiple parts to it. It's not just cohesive. So I'm really leaning Romulan unless it's a new species altogether, or one we haven't seen. Like the theory that they're Tholian, using the collapse of the Romulan Star Empire for an invasion. Maybe. They could be Kazon ships. What do Kazon ships look like? I don't think they're Kazon. Let's see. What are Kazon? Kazon starships. Images. No, those aren't consistent with any kind of Kazon design either. I mean, I'm not saying they aren't. I'm saying it's not consistent with. All right, so let's keep going on. Also, to that point, definitely looking like a bird, which Romulan use a lot. Not only do Romulans use a lot of bird type designs, their entire way when it comes to defeating an enemy or talking about battle is under the wing of the bird. Under the wing of the bird, I forget which one exactly, but they always talk about how they're like a predator bird. So we get more of the shots. There's not anything relevant that I see here necessarily, except for this one point. Now, I'll do it just a little bit. See that? See that coming down? Obviously a torpedo of some sort. That is consistent with a Romulan weaponry. When Romulans attack and their torpedoes are generally red. I know Star Trek Online has tried to change that, but in the attacks in the original series, as well as in some The Next Generation episodes, anytime a Romulan has utilized torpedoes, it has been red. So this design, combined with the coloring here, and the fact that everything is Romulan that we see, makes me believe that this is somehow a Romulan attack force. I wonder if, because this is obviously connected to whatever he's going through and why Picard's going through it. I do wonder if this connection is perhaps maybe Starfleet attempting to save people or wanting to save people, and the Romulans attacking their own to stop some secret from getting out or something like that. I'm not sure at all. I'd be curious what you guys think. Hold on, it may not be Romulan because of the Hobus star destroying them. Well, just because the Hobus star... First off, this could be pre-Hobus star event, which has always been canon, even though people don't accept that. But beyond that, just removing that completely, they would still have ships. They would still have the ability. I mean, and some people really have a great criticism. Just because the capital is destroyed doesn't necessarily mean the entirety of the Romulan Star Empire would go. Now, we're going to accept that if that's what they say, but in theory, they would have other places that have specific militaries, which are military assets, which could be used. These ships absolutely don't have to look the same to be Klingon or Romulan traditional design. Just look at the Federation Steamrunner, looking so much different, just like the Defiant class. The dude, are you confused? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Joss Flair. That's fine. I mean, they don't have to be, but I would at least hope there'd be some consistency to it. But you're right. They don't have to look like anything to be there. Let me ask you guys this. Bye, Lorehead. Anti-Trekkers Live. Okay. See you, Jason. Let me ask you guys this specifically. Let me point this out. I think this is me stretching here. Of everything I've said, I'm saying this is stretching. When you look at the painting, look at the sky. The sky itself, and I guess this is the best shot I can get without trying to play it. The sky itself is largely dark with certain shadows showing the light. So you have just a lot of tumultuous atmosphere, I would say, which is just like what we see. Where is it? Right here. To me, the skies appear to be somewhat similar. Again, I don't know if that's stretching, and I think it's kind of, you've gone off the deep end when I'm saying it's stretching. But I would say that the skies in the painting seem similar to what we see here. And I wonder, again, if that's a reflection of what's going on with Picard when he's remembering this and going through it. Anyway. Kind of reminds me of the Scorpion class fighter from Nemesis. Yeah, I guess I could sort of see that. Lore Reloaded, since you are all online, maybe you could do a giant video collab now. Probably not going to happen. Good use of the word tumultuous. Why, thank you. I like to think I do that. Then we have Picard waking up and find out his dog is named Number One, which to me, I'm the only one that finds that weird as hell. I really do. It's just odd. Then we got the establishing shot of his vineyard, him walking down and doing what he does. Oh, another intriguing thing is that going back and looking back here, when he was wearing his uniform, he was also using his cane. and he's using his cane here. I think that's an intriguing point because, again, kind of shows us the inside of his head. Because when you dream about things, sometimes you have your disabilities, sometimes you don't, right? The fact that he has his disabilities and yet is wearing the uniform when he wouldn't have had this is kind of speaks to where he's at or what he thinks, at least in my opinion. Most of the Maquis were wiped out. They were. I seriously hope Picard isn't just seeing data instead of him truly being there. I don't think we're ever going to see real data. Maybe we will, but I don't think so. I think it's more all just dream sequences. Then we have the scene where he sees this woman. We don't know who she is. We don't know what's going on. There's going to be a weird scene coming up too. Would he be suffering from rheumatic syndrome? I hope they include that. I really do. Yeah, I sincerely do. I seriously hope Picard isn't... Yeah, I already read that. But anyway, sees this woman. She changes everything. Then we're at Starfleet Command, which again is intriguing. You notice how the Golden Gate Bridge now has nothing but solar panels, even though we've never seen that. But apparently, I guess they just were hidden beforehand. Welcome to being a part of the channel, Supreme Heretic. I wonder if he suffered a leg injury in between Nemesis and Star Trek Picard, necessitating the use of the cane. Maybe. I just think it's older, and maybe it just helps him. But it's possible he got an injury. Let's hope it's Star Trek Discovery, Enterprise, and First Contact. It's all a dream with what happened with Captain Sisko in Season 6, Far Beyond the Stars. Maybe. Okay. So we have him coming here. This scene, which if you remember, a lot of channels were like, no, this couldn't possibly. This is not going to be Starfleet Command or anything like that. It's all a joke. It didn't happen. Funny how we all forget funny how channels say random stuff and then don't ever have to answer for it. Kind of like news agencies. Then we get the hologram of the next generation, or the Galaxy D. Or a Galaxy class, not the D. Let me see something real quick. There's a couple of things to this, and I hate being negative about it. It's cool. I'm not saying that I, hate it or anything. It just feels like fan service. This is past the Dominion War. This is past Nemesis. You have the Sovereign, the Acura, the Steamrunner, someone brought up. And presumably even more advanced ships than what the Sovereign was. And Starfleet Command decides to have the Galaxy class. I don't know. I mean, I do think it's cool, and I don't want to be necessarily a negative Nancy, but it just feels like fan service to me. And I don't like when something is blatantly fan servicey, unless it's something that I like as fan servicey. So, Starfleet HQ looks like a rundown hotel casino, possibly. Oh no, the Trek future is using solar roadways. I thought that scam was dead. It's not dead. Not at all. It'll never be dead. Picard and Data's... Oh, you think it might be Lol? I think she looks like Lol, but I just don't think it is at all. Lots of fan service. I hope the people we're passing the torch to are cool. I do too. Famous capital ships on display for history purposes, like a museum. I mean, that's fair. Maybe. So maybe it's instead of them just having this there, because we know the Enterprise D and we put the Enterprise D with Picard, maybe they will show different ships that served with distinction and had went above and beyond. So maybe that's what it is. There's a scene here. I wish I could play it, but you can't because CBS sucks. That I think is really interesting. So the ensign here, says something to the effect of, it's glad to see you back or glad to see you about, indicating that Picard has probably become somewhat insular or isolated, that he doesn't leave his vineyard all that much, which I really like. It's a very, very small, it's very subtle, and it was almost surprising to me because I have such a bad taste when it comes to Discovery era Trek. But he talks about how Picard hasn't really been seen all that much, and it's good to see him coming out. Or good to see him out and about, coming out. I mean, I don't know, maybe he does. You should have seen, we'll see what he does with Riker. Hey. So it's really interesting. It's really subtle. And I thought it was very cool. It also seems consistent with what we see with Picard. He seemed to just keep to himself. He calls his dog number one. So, which is, again, just sad. So it's really a nice touch. And I think they could play with that and have a very interesting storyline. Especially if, again, something bad happens. He quits Starfleet and just decides to isolate himself from everybody else and loses touch with Starfleet, what Starfleet's become, what's going on in the world, and then comes back surprised to see it's something different. I think that'd be really interesting. Mary McNamara helping out the channel, one of the someone who's been with the channel a while. Really good person. A theory I watched this morning, guessed that the girl is the clone daughter of Picard and the Borg Queen made by the Romulans. Thoughts? Too convoluted, and it doesn't feel like Trek to me. I really wasn't a huge fan of Nemesis. They've already done that with the Nemesis too. I don't think so. I think they're going to make her something special and unique aside from Picard that Picard has to protect. I think there is some of that type of storytelling happening. I doubt they will show Captain Sisko and his crew of Starbase Deep Space Nine once again. Yeah, I doubt that too. Not because they're all canon and they all link to each other. I just don't think they'll do it. For whatever reason, they don't seem to have a lot of love for Deep Space Nine. I'm not sure why. I think Deep Space Nine was superior to Voyager. So, not a dig at any of the actors or actresses in Voyager. I just don't know why we don't bring back Deep Space Nine. Picard must have spent some time teaching at the academy. That might have been one of the old students. Maybe. Q is meddling again. In the first trailer, the scene seemed very unfunny, but the line, glad to see you out line makes the joke work now. I wished we'd seen this originally. They tried to turn it into a joke, and that was very frustrating to me. See, and it's interesting to look at the way he reacts here. It's interesting to see the way he reacts. He seems annoyed by it. I really think we have seen a changed man, a man who is going through the syndrome and who has depression or just wants to be left alone, doesn't want to be involved in any of this. So I do think we are seeing that to some degree. Alexander Hagen helping out the channel. Does the trailer make you feel more or less optimistic for Picard? It makes me intrigued in the storyline. I gotta be honest. You know, I try these days. About 6 or 7 months ago, there was a different person. I try these days to be either understanding or hopeful for things that are coming up. But honest, if I don't like something, I don't like something. There is nothing in Star Trek Picard that I have seen that turns me off from it. There is nothing negative to it. However, in Star Trek Discovery, the executives specifically, it wasn't. I don't think it was necessarily the writers, and I don't think it was necessarily even the producers, except maybe the original director. I meant they lied on so many different levels. And it was so obvious, and this I will put at the feet of both the director and the writers, it was so obvious that the bias to try to tell people that they're not only wrong but bad was there, that it's hard for me to get excited about this because I'm just waiting for them to lie. It's like being with an abusive spouse. They say they've changed, but you're just waiting for it to come. You know, you've just lost all your hope for it. But the storyline really intrigues me. Nothing turns me off about it. I think that if Discovery hadn't occurred the way it occurred, not just it itself, because there can just be a bad series, but if there hadn't been executives lying, and there hadn't been specifically points telling people that they're bad people, that I would be excited for this. I would just can't discount Discovery as a weaker series. That's my honest opinion. What they said they wanted to mix Discovery with Picard and TNG, so that suggests identity politics. I don't agree there. I think that is I think that's a pessimistic way to look at it. If you take Discovery's aesthetics and then the next generation's way of, most of the next generation's way of addressing topics as well as storyline, I think you got something great. So maybe that's what they were talking about, but the optimistic view is that they're not doing that. They're just keeping the aesthetics of Discovery. I might watch this, but if they mention Star Trek Discovery and show their fake Klingons, I'm done. I consider from the Herc that thanks to Picard's meddling on First Contact, bring back the Herc who travel back. I think that's fair. Thanks for detailed answer. I agree completely. Hope you have a good evening, Alexander. I think it's fair that if you see like the Klingons the way they looked, and when I say aesthetic, I didn't mean the Klingons necessarily, but I think that if you see the Klingons or you see aspects of Star Trek Discovery here that you don't like and you don't want to watch it, I think that's fair. Anyone who says it's not is, I think, I don't want to say biased. I just think they're being unfair to people. Everyone keeps saying clone as though it were the only method of reproduction. The Queen has displayed sexuality, even only as a method of seduction. I mean, it's possible. 169 viewing, only 69 likes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people... Look, you can hit the like button or the dislike button, but you need to hit it. Hit it today. Because today only, it's actually completely free. So, go ahead and just hit the button. So, just get it out of the way. Because it's free. So anyway, he looks pretty angry. Then we have some place that looks like the Hive. Him talking to random person 7650. All right, so here's something I want to point out. By the way, that English gent, thank you so much for giving $12.49. Be honest, how nervous are you that this show is going to be 20% forced fan service and 80% progressive action trash? I love the fan service, but that's it. It'll be crass action with weak narrative. I don't see any reason to believe that just yet. Again, I'm waiting for it, but I don't know that it's fair to assume that it's there. I think it's uncharitable to say that it has it when we haven't observed it yet. You can say, well, they did it in Discovery, but they've changed a lot of things in Discovery too. They may have learned their lesson. Or maybe they did say that everything is supposed to be different. When you watch Discovery, you're watching a certain type of show. When you watch Picard, you're watching a certain type of show. So that may be where they're going. I think that's uncharitable. Not uncharitable. I keep using that word. I guess that's my word for today. I think that's too pessimistic. We have no reason to believe it. All right. So here's something. So first we see this, which looks like datas, right? It looks like they're creating a whole race of datas, which we're going to talk about an interaction with the Starfleet Admiral in the future. But here's something I want to show you, if it does it. And they did it right next to each other. I don't know if this is done on purpose or whatnot, but look, you see what they're wearing? This appears to be the Romulan area. Everything about this yells Romulan Borg cube. Look at what is being worn here. And then look at what the androids are wearing. Now, we don't see any of the androids to my knowledge. However, they do look kind of similar to me. Additionally, interestingly, the scientists or doctors are wearing the uniform that looks like what we would see in Discovery or even the original series. And again, that could go back to the aesthetic. In the bottom right-hand corner also, it's hard to see, but there's... I don't know. That kind of looks like a similar uniform to what we've been seeing when it comes to like Starfleet or Section 31, but where there's just not enough information there. But yeah, I think this was one of the big reveals right here, is the data-like constructs. And I think they've given us what one of the issues with Starfleet is going to be. Starfleet Command has decided to start making datas, an entire race of datas that are going to go out and assist and do the things that other people don't want to do. I think we're seeing a tie-in there. And so that's going to be a Starfleet that Picard would, of course, balk at. But it's not an unreasonable Starfleet. It's something that actually, in my opinion, if I'm correct, makes sense. Think about it. Starfleet, every 100 years or so, gets into some kind of massive conflict that could ultimately end in their destruction. And the worst one, arguably, is the Dominion War. If they had an entire race of datas that could man ships or go up and do things that we don't have to have actual lives for, why wouldn't they do that? We don't ever know if holograms receive their rights either. And we know they utilize holograms for slave labor. So if they're utilizing holograms for slave labor, why oh why wouldn't they try to construct datas? It actually makes sense. It's dystopian, something Gene Roddenberry would go against, I think. But it seems consistent with what Starfleet may or may not do. Tyler X, it's very unreasonable after discovery and control. I guess you're a little bit ways back. Refresh to see if you can catch up. But I don't know where you're going with that. Please do a breakdown series on Ghostbusters, the video game. Sure, JJMFDL. I will definitely do that for you, buddy. I'm not even joking there. You've supported the channel so much. If that's what you want me to do, I'll do that. Starfleet doing the Starfleeting unethical things, but still claiming the moral justifications of the high ground. Yes. It's common practice. We always have a synthetic on board. Always works out so well. Yeah, it has worked out well in the background, hasn't it? So where are we at in the timeline? Extension of the Kelvin, killed Ambassador Spock, BB4, he goes back, or ignore Kelvin and continue on like Kelvin is a different branch, to my understanding. Would they all have emotion chips? If not, and Data has his, what would be the moral and ethical implications of that? Would they be as sentient as Data? I don't think that they would have the emotion chip. I don't see why that would be included at all, if my theory is accurate. I find it highly unethical, and I think the argument was made well by Guinan, but I think that they'd just be automatons for all intents and purposes. As long as there are no facehuggers. Well, then I guess we'll be fine. It makes sense for us. It doesn't make sense for Starfleet. It's a very transhumanist act in a society that has been, until now, anti-transhumanist. David Ham, no, actually, buddy, when it comes to holograms and it comes to synthetic life forms, generally, especially if they're made by someone in the Federation, they have always been considered property. In fact, it was the whole to do the Measure of a Man. And even that was just about Data specifically, not necessarily talking about all androids or robots. Even the Next Generation, and people roll their eyes, but this actually happened. There is more cause to believe that the Galaxy-class starship has more of an ability to be sentient than Data ever could. It has emotions. It has, in one episode, it has emotions. It has a child. It has sentience. It has sapience. It understands what's going on. And yet it's still considered property like every other ship. So them having, now it may be hypocrisy, but them having this kind of dual standard isn't necessarily against the fold. I don't think. They need a new second in command like Spock. They haven't been able to add another cool Vulcan sidekick. Okay. They're probably going to be less advanced than Data. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Sean, welcome for joining. So anyway, so we go there, we see the Datas, then we see this, which again looks to be the Borg cube. And now we have the standoff between Picard and Admiral Whitehair. I sincerely believe a part of this back and forth is not only the woman, but is also the fact that they are creating datas to use in situations that aren't savory or aren't favorable. The exocomps is another one. They do this all the time. We know the exocomps also have the ability for sentience and sapience, and yet exocomps are still used in other episodes. So the fact that they're utilizing robots and stuff, or androids, isn't something uncommon. And now that we're creating datas, I think that Picard is going to get upset. And that's a part of the fight here. Additionally, I think that Starfleet doesn't want to get involved with the woman because of her roots, because of her roots to the Romulans. I think that it's kind of a not my problem issue. Also, Starfleet and the Federation Council have always been the bad guys to some degree or not. Starfleet goes out of its way to be the boogeyman and just to either ignore or go along with evil plots. That's TNG, DS9, the movies, everything. And, Star Trek says Geetsley. What's going on, Geetsleys? Hope you're doing well. I want an exocomp bridge officer in Star Trek Online. Well, you should have one. Admiral placeholder. I think that part of the trailer is a lie. Admiral placeholder. I don't think it's a lie. I just think that we're being somewhat misled. Do they have exocomps bridge officers? Because that'd be awesome. They should have made that Admiral Janeway. I'd love to see Picard verbally tear her down. For that reason, I don't think they'd make it. I think that if Admiral Janeway comes in, she's going to help them out or be sympathetic. I really do. I wish DS9 ended with the Dominion getting a part of the Alpha Quadrant and blowing up Bajor in the process. Well, that's an interesting way to end it. Dominion was no bad guys as they were. Dominion was no bad guys as they were in DS9? Okay. Misinformation, you say. All right. So we see him coming down all angry because apparently in the late 24th, early 25th century. No, it couldn't be, could it? Maybe. Anyway, way past Nemesis and the Dominion War, we still have escalators that look like this because that's just what you do. That's just how this works. It's hard to see an audience member, but in all practicality, Jean-Luc Picard's time in Starfleet is over and should not be able to just walk in and make demands of the Admiralty. I don't know that I agree with that. He is a hero. He is like the hero of the Federation. He has saved them multiple times. So I think that when he walks in or does something, it has gravitas. I think that's consistent. I really do. I don't know if you guys and gals noticed the little Easter eggs of Stargate SG-1 when Riker and Picard are on the dock that looks like the same place. Maybe. JJMFDL helping out the channel, becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Hey, you can become a member at patreon.com/lore reloaded, or you can do it here by hitting the little join button and becoming a member. Should get the same perks in theory. So that's a way of doing it as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, that's true. Lex, you're pretty late, buddy. You have that annoys me to a degree. I'm not gonna lie. If you look right there to the left, you see a Discovery style ship. There's no reason to have that. Why would you go back that far? That's annoying. They did it in Enterprise too, though, so I can't really say much. We have this scene, which we've already talked about before, her walking along. Though, something intriguing here. So we see her. She has a gash. She's obviously been in a fight. She doesn't know where she's going. She's draped in a green robe, which could indicate that either her connection to the Romulans or the fact that there's a part of her that's Romulan as well. Perhaps, a lot of people yell new queen, Borg queen, blah, blah, blah. By the way, if you guys are watching this and you enjoy these conversations, you like having conversation, like talking to me, hit that like button and definitely share on social media. More people come in, more people hit like, more people watch, the more I'm inclined to do it. Her robe is green, which could have a connection to the Romulans, or could indicate that maybe, if she's a Borg queen, what if the Romulans decided to take one of their own, someone who maybe had a high psychic power ability, or was showing more Vulcan traits, and they wanted to turn her into a Borg queen. So a Romulan that they tried to make a Borg queen who escaped. That could be intriguing. Insane Way commits mass murder for a few peeps. She does. She does. That's true. They still use the flying wing for more than 50 years. Charles Rhineley, let's have this. The flying wing. So Charles Rhineley, is that what it's called? Is it called the flying wing? The flying wing? Okay. The flying wing. When was the flying wing created? Flying wing first constructed. Flying wing was first constructed 1947. Fantastic. Okay. 1947 minus 2019, 72 years. Fantastic. When, what star date was Discovery? Is Discovery. Star date 2256. It is in 2256. Remember that number. Remember that number. 2256. What star date is Star Trek Picard? Doesn't give us an exact. I don't believe. If it is, let me know. What star date is Star Trek Nemesis? When did Star Trek Nemesis occur specifically? And if you guys know, let me know in the chat. I would love to have that. Does it happen 2379? Looks like. I'll look back to you guys. Looks like 2379. 2379 is what we're going to go with. Not Star Trek Picard, but Nemesis. Minus 2379. 123 years. 123 years. Now, let's go back 123 years, shall we? Just out of curiosity. Airplanes. Let's do this. 2019 minus 123, 1896. Airplanes around in 1896. Timeline of aviation, 19th century. Let's see, 1896. Come on, folks. Come on, here we go. Here we go. Hop, 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 here we go. Aerodome number 5. Do you see any aerodomes number 5s around? Not only that, let's take this to its logical conclusion as well, shan't we? The Federation, it's over 123 years, by the way. It wasn't 123. Picard happened significantly after Nemesis, but I'm just going to give you Nemesis because I'm a nice guy. So, Starfleet in the 23rd century creates a design, and they're like, you know what? This is a cool design, but screw that. We're just going to get rid of it, and 10 years later, we're going to come up with a whole new design, and we're going to use that for the next 100 or so years. And then they're like, you know what? Screw that. What we originally did, we're going to go back to, and we're going to make it look exactly like it just because. That is stupid to me. Enterprise does it. Don't get me wrong. Enterprise does that a couple of times. We even see in the 31st century a 31st Vulcan ship made from the 22nd century. So I'm not saying that it hasn't been done before. I'm saying that it doesn't make any sense. Maybe they broke the Discovery era shuttle out when they decided to install the escalators. That's exactly what happened. Nailed it. Nailed it. Anyway, Chris Rhineley, I mean, that's fine. Those planes have been around a lot longer than I thought they had. But I don't agree with it. But I could be wrong. All right, so then we see this conversation. I believe that's the Romulan before. Hello from Belarus. What's going on? And then we see him looking around, and then he puts on the insignia, the original TNG comm badge. Fantastic. Justice Ag says that's stupid. What's stupid specifically? Okay, well, hold on. We'll go back to talking about the shuttle, because this is apparently very important. It is like the basic shape of a shovel doesn't need to change. Okay, well, that's fair, Hontus Farmer. Can you show me where, for 100 or so years, they decided not to use the basic shape of a shovel and then go back to it? If you can do that, then I'll agree it's like a shovel. But if the shovel shape has always stayed a shovel shape because there was no need to change the shovel shape, then it's not exactly one-to-one, now is it? Shuttle minor refit. Yes, it was a shuttle minor refit. That is not the TNG comm badge. It's the TNG movie era. I stand corrected. You were right. You were right. It'd be funny if it does not work, like it does not support them current 5G. Yeah, I think he's going to use it just because. The fan service. Very fan servicey. Remember, the people making this new Star Trek are not true fans of the original. I don't know that I agree with that. I'll read this because I started to, but I don't know that I agree with it, Commander Sloan. Remember, the people making this new Star Trek are not true fans of the original, are doing it their way, even if they destroy everything about the original series. TNG and DS9, that's not even first TNG. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I think a lot of people care about it. But anyway, so he puts on the comm badge. Yay. He's not going to keep it, though. Then we see him use the older style shuttles. It's possible. I'll grant this. Well, it looks like a little bit different. I'll grant this. It's possible that shuttle was independently owned, like someone else pointed out. So maybe it's being used by others and not an official Starfleet. I don't think that's the case, but maybe. Hopefully, if the watch your show, they might bring back lore just to see you comment. Yeah, they might do that just because. Then this is him talking with Firefly's, what the hell is her name? Zoe, I think. Is it Zoe? Is that what it is? I think that's Firefly's Zoe. Maybe not. Yeah, it's Zoe. So now we got Star Trek's version of Firefly's Zoe, which is just fantastic. Now, this scene is really big. Now, look at this scene right here. Look in the top right-hand corner. You see that space station or shuttle or whatever the hell it is? That's going to come back up. We also see what are either Starfleet or independent ships. I think they're Starfleet ships, right? This looks like it's near Starfleet Command. Let me ask that. Let me ask this. Does this look like it's near Starfleet Command to you guys? There has to be a used shuttle business somewhere by Cork. That'd be awesome. So, do you guys think that this is near Starfleet Command? I am willing to think it is. Maybe not. Maybe I'll look at a few over. No, maybe not. But you see this. You see this specifically, right? I don't think it's Starfleet Command the more I watch it. I think it's near Starfleet or it's on Earth for sure. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's a Starfleet amusement park. Nailed it. It's important where this is, though, because, again, you see the thing up in the top right-hand corner. We're going to come back to that. You guys really think it's a distant world? I don't know. The designs here seem consistent with the designs here. It looks the same to me. Tyler helping out the channel. Tyler X2FO1. Calling it as the shuttle is privately owned military surplus, just like how I can buy a T-34 Russian tank today. Okay, maybe. I think the designs look similar. I think that if it's on a different planet, I'm going to say it's Federation, though, of some sort, because the designs are just too similar to me. How many bars of gold press platinum would a shuttle or runabout cost? 3. Starfleet has the technology to make floating cities, but why? Why not? Who wouldn't want to make a floating city? Could be the moon. I doubt that. You don't have a surplus of T-34 to commute to work, though. There is a second one of those in the background towards the middle of the screen. Oh, there is, isn't there? I never even noticed that. Yeah. Huh. Maybe it is the moon. Maybe they're trying to, maybe they finally made the moon habitable. But we'll get back. We'll watch that in a second. The Golden Gate Bridge is the same on the Star Trek Discovery. Agreed. So yeah, I don't know. You guys don't think it's Starfleet Command? Is that Starfleet Command on the right? I really think that this is near or on Earth, but maybe I'm wrong. We're going to come back to this, though. It's important. This scene right here is important. Okay, this is her talking. Then we have who I'm guessing is going to be the Firefly. I think, what do we name her? The Firefly mechanic, which was Kaylee. The Firefly mechanic. So this is Star Trek's version of Kaylee right here. We'll be coming back to that. Yes, Michael Phelps. Yes, I finally agree with you. Then we have Legolas, which has a sword that's similar to what Sulu fought with. So we have Legolas in what seems like a Romulan encampment. Todd, welcome to the channel. Thanks for subscribing. Then we have our captain who's smoking. Not only is the captain smoking, but this is Captain Manspreader. I think that's the name we gave this guy, right? Captain Manspreader, who is just a bamf. I mean, oh my God, who doesn't want to be him? We see the Borg cube with the dead Borg thing. Yeah, so here's something that is disappointing, maybe, but I guess this is what they have to do. This is not TNG had one episode that was very gory, and then they didn't. This is very Discovery aesthetic, and I don't like that. We have 7 of 9, who is holding what I'm going to assume is a dead Hugh, who is attempting to help her. We have an upset Zoe. And then this is the hero ship, I'm guessing. We're going to call this the, this ship looks a lot to me like the Mass Effect ship. What is the Mass Effect ship? I forget what's called. Mass Effect ship. The hell is it called? The SR hero ship. I've even done a breakdown of it. I can't remember that. I can't believe I've forgotten. The Normandy. So we're going to call this one the Normandy. How did I forget that, man? I played Mass Effect a lot. So we have the Normandy, which I think is the hero ship. I don't think it's going to be the future ship that we see. And it's going towards Earth for whatever reason. Here's another piece. So we got Captain Manspreader right here. See, look at him. Look at that. Look at that patriarchy. That is horrible. I have 2 daughters that I am trying to raise in this world. And Star Trek Picard has this man who is spreading his legs. Who cares if that's the comfortable way to do it if you're male, and to do it any other way makes you uncomfortable. You have this man who is doing something that is perfectly biological and is oppressing. I mean, look in front. He's the captain with women. Women who are doing all the work. Patriarchy confirmed. All right, now I got that out of my system. Something that people have complained about that I like, that I think is really interesting, is the 3D graphics, the 3D consoles. A lot of people are getting upset about that, but it's consistent with Deep Space Nine. If you remember in Deep Space Nine, one of the episodes, the future episodes, they talked about having 3D controls and how could they ever have managed with the 2D consoles that they had. So I think this is cool. I think it's consistent, interesting. I know they probably did it because it's the future and stuff, but it's also a nice callback, in my opinion. This is Star Trek Mass Effect. I kind of hate the holo screens. It's not new anymore. I think it's consistent. Misreading is only a valid argument when it comes to bench sitting. That is true. That's true. All right. So we got Captain Manspreader. They're going to do something cool. Women clearly not working. I see 0 sandwiches being made. Yeah, the person that helped me out with that is actually is at Disney right now. But we can call and ask if she'll bring a Philly if you guys want. Okay, so we have Picard talking to somebody. Captain Manspreader looking important, using his ability, and then the Normandy zooming off into space, into that great wide somewhere. They keep showing this background. I don't know if it's just the ship or there is some like important piece here. And yes, in my episode I'm doing tomorrow, I'm going to yell, there are 4 lights. That is happening. So get used to it. If you guys have anything you want to say or anything to add to it, definitely let me know. I'm just breaking down what I think and what this feels like to me. By the way, 223 people watching, only 121 likes. Come on, people. Don't be scared. Hit that like button. Am I the only one that thinks the crew is extremely expendable? I think that the focus is going to be more on the crew ultimately than it is specifically to them. And let me tell you why. A lot of people, some channels are getting upset saying that it's kind of a catfish, that you're going to have Picard, but he's going to be in the background. Picard's like 60-something years, or not Picard, but Patrick Stewart is 60-something years old. I think it's unfair and unrealistic to expect him to do a lot of the heavy lifting. He should be a part of it. He should be a big part of it. He should be the main character. Or it should be ensemble. But I think it's okay to have these other elements and have other characters that there's a focus on. Picard is just... Or not Picard, but Patrick Stewart is just way too old to be a Michael Burnham. And what's her name? Sonequa, I think. Oh, I love the actress. I just can't remember her name right now. I don't think he's 80. Picard is not 90. Y'all don't even know what the hell y'all are talking about. Okay, well, now we got to look that up. How old is Patrick Stewart? 79 years old. So he's almost 80. Yeah, so I think that's unfair. Picard will probably be a figurehead. Yeah, I think he'll be like the wise mentor, someone who could still do stuff but not the main character. Or not the complete main focus. And I don't think that's unfair. I think you can still make a pretty good pretty good series based on that. Now we come to the part that I find frustrating. Hey, babe, we're live, so there are people watching. What's up?
I'm hungry.
Well, you ate a lot not an hour ago. Okay. So what do you want to eat?
I will go look in the fridge.
Go get an apple. Or a tangerine.
Oh, I think I oranges.
Oranges, yes, that's what tangerines are. That's okay, whatever. Yeah, go get the oranges that are actually tangerines. All right. Cool? Get your sister help or bring it back up to me and I'll open it for you or I'll peel it, okay? Fantastic. All right. So, here's a piece to me that is frustrating. And if you're on my Twitter, which you should be, twitter.com/Lore Reloaded, I was actually making fun of this to a large degree. Why do we have this ship. There is no reason to have a 23rd century ship here. I am sure they are going to write it into the plot and it makes sense. But here's the thing. Why? Why? What do writers have? What do execs have? What problems do they have with using ships in actual space, not fucking holograms, during TNG or Deep Space Nine or Voyager? Why can't we have current era ships? Why do you have to have these stupid ships that happened in the 23rd century? Almost all of the people who watched it when they first were born are dead. Can you do something for me? Can you pander to me for once? Can I have a Deep Space Nine ship for once? Or do I have to be 60 before you care about putting an Akira-class vessel up there? I'm going to worry about it. 1 second. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Maybe the Romulans bought it out of mothballs. I don't even care what the actual reason for it is. Hey, did you get something to eat?
I got my orange, but well, I don't know how to orange, but how is that good? I'm good at cutting.
She knows how to peel it. Bring it up to me if she doesn't. Philly cheesesteak for the daughter? Yeah, we'll get her Philly cheesesteak. Anyway, I don't see why. Anyway, we have the Normandy going up against the ship here. Multiple ships, which tells me that this is probably a bad ship, with bad guys on it, I guess. That would be the only reason. I don't know. Who are the heroes and why are they helping out? If you notice, the shields are blue, too, which I think is interesting. What's up, babe? Just the tangerine. If she didn't peel it for you, bring it up so I can do it. Or the orange. She did or did not? Did not. Bring me up an orange so that I can peel it for you.
I just got it with my hands.
You got it with your hands? Well, that's good.
I got it.
With your hands?
Yeah, but I said don't know how, but I don't know how to do it too.
Okay, well, Lorelai does know how. Let's not use her name, though, okay? Because I'm a lot. No, let's not say it. Say daughter number 1.
Daughter number 1.
There you go. Love you.
Thank you, baby.
No problem. Sorry, guys. Models cost money, CGI or plastic. They had to design this model too. I don't even want to hear that stuff. Because people were saying, well, you know, they had it before. You're telling me that they had to CGI that. They had to completely CGI that. You're telling me they didn't have original CGIs of Akira or Sovereigns or something like that, or Valdor ships. They didn't have a CGI model of a Valdor. You're telling me it was easier to do that? No, I don't believe it at all. Tyler 2F01, either a flashback or Romulans had to salvage their junkyards after the sun went nova, likely destroying many ships and shipyards along with the planet. Look, I understand, and I understand that there is going to be a reason and justification here from a story aspect. I have every faith that I'm going to believe why this ship is here. I'm saying from a real life point of view, why? Why not give us something that is a little more current? There's no reason not to. I'm doing well, Alamandorius. I hope you're doing well as well, good sir. Theory, the girl who's the key to everything stole the bird of prey, and this battle is an attempt to stop her from escaping. Well, then why are the main heroes? Why are they using the Normandy? Which also kind of looks like a shuttle, by the way. Then we have Picard, who is doing a callback to when he did this in TNG, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe this is an honor thing. Why the hell? Whatever. Then we have the attack on Seven of Nine's place. Before, if you watch the original one, if you watch the original breakdown with the trailer that I did, I said that it's possible 7 of 9 betrayed Jean-Luc. I don't think she did now. I think that they both got attacked and didn't know it was coming. Then we have, of course, Kaylee and Captain Manspreader, who are sharing a moment for whatever reason. Another look at the Borg cube, as it were. This one with her looking up. And then sex, because why the hell not? I mean, I know personally that in TNG and Deep Space Nine, we saw a lot of this happening, so why the hell wouldn't we have it? I don't know who she's doing it there. We got Vulcan or Romulan Legolas. I think this is nitpicky. I'm going to admit it. But why the hell do you have a sword in a day and age that... in a day and age when phasers, phaser rifles, transporters, and personal shields exist? I get it. He looks cool. Oh my God. Do you know Star Wars is a thing right now? Star Wars is a thing right now. Now we got Star Wars Legolas who's using a sword. And oh, he's going to be so epic. You don't need swords when phasers exist. My God. I personally know, living in the United States with lax being relative, gun laws compared to European Union and European nations, how prevalent swords are running around. Because by God, in a land of guns, one thing we worry about is the roving sword gangs. Hontas Farmer, helping out the channel. The old models in CGI were trashed when Enterprise failed. No, I don't. The CGI for Sovereigns, the CGI for Akuras, I don't know that I believe that. And even if I did believe that, I mean, maybe. Even if that is true, let me put it that way. The TOS CGI would be just as hard or would be gone too. Maybe he is on a no ray gun list. Ah! Sometimes swords may be more useful. For example, the Borg, you may be able to defeat them using a blade. Yeah, but we don't see him using this blade. We see him using this blade on the Borg ship. Sure. But we also see him utilizing it off the Borg ship, too. Most people use ray guns that can knock you out or kill you, or they can just transport you somewhere. It's an archaic and unnecessary weapon that nobody should use. Unless you're fighting the Borg. A hyper-specific situation. Star Trek Legolas is bad and should feel bad. Personal shields would be skewed towards energy weapons, so a sword would penetrate them easily. Okay. The Sword of Kahless. He just watched too much Star Wars. Yeah, that's what it is. Then we got Hugh. Don't know how I feel about Hugh. A lot of people are like freaking out. I think they're going to make Hugh a very dark character when he ultimately was a character of hope and was a very naive character. A very innocent character. I think they're going to take that away from him. Not sure how I feel about that. Star Trek The Next Generation 40K. You know it to be true? Yes. Yes, I do. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age. That is true. Maybe there are weapon jammers that stop you from using phasers, but it's still stupid. Yeah, because that happens a lot. So we have the conversation between 7 of 9 and... what's a Picard? Then we have dual-wielding 7 of 9, because why wouldn't we have dual-wielding 7 of 9? Utilizing what I am assuming are upgraded phaser rifles. I wonder if she's actually in Starfleet Command right now, because it has the same aesthetic, but whatever. You know, she dual wields because she is your daddy. All right, and then we're getting to it. We're getting to it. Here we go. Who could this be? What's going on? Oh God. Oh God. Who could it be? Who could it be? Oh my God. So beautiful. Now I'll say this. I'm making fun of it because, again, a lot of people freak out about this. I don't really understand why. Yeah, they have Riker, which is good. I want them to have Riker. I think that's awesome. It's not something to really freak out about, and it's not... It would be more unusual if Riker wasn't there. I was concerned that they were going to break up Deanna and Riker. Because the way they were talking, they said it's going to be in a way that you haven't seen Deanna or Riker before. And I was worried that something would have happened. So I'm glad to see that they're at least still together. Also, we don't know the material the sword is made of. I don't think that's a justification for the sword, in my opinion. Everyone got fat. Well, that's what happens when you get older. Also, I don't like the way they're using Riker. I'll be honest, unless there's more to it, and hopefully there is, but it just seems like fan service. He doesn't... I don't know. It just... I'm glad they had Riker. I just hope they do more with the character, him and Deanna. I really hope they do more with it. Would you say maybe they're... Alamandori is helping out the channel. Would you say maybe they're doing too much Rule of Cool in this one? Because it seems the way to me. I don't think we have enough for that yet. I don't think we have enough evidence for that, in my opinion. Maybe they're doing it. I don't see it. So, we'll keep going. We see Deanna, who I thought was pregnant before, but I guess not. Aww. I do like the camaraderie between them. I think that's cool. All right, so now we have a fight between the Normandy and the older bird of prey, which has been souped up, or they'd never watched the original series because it didn't have this ability before. But it's firing disruptors of multiple different... Well, no, the Normandy may be firing on it. But still, the two phasers coming out from or two disruptors coming out from the front of it is not something we've observed before. And it's still fighting it because it just is. I'm not sure why. Then we have a ball being kicked because it wouldn't be Firefly, Star Trek Firefly, if they weren't playing a game in the cargo bay. Just would not be. So we had to get that. Do you think Alaska is too cold for Star Trek Picard to be centered in? Yes, intentional, playful question. Do I think Alaska is too cold? I don't. Maybe I'm not smart enough. This is going to be just like the new Star Wars, bring back all the classic characters we love just to kill them all. I hope not. That'll hurt it for me. Then we have a circle that messes with people. We have Hugh trying to help them get away. I'm sure Hugh helps out in the Borg cube. Hugh will probably die there too. This game, let me ask this. This looks like a game of some sort. It looks familiar. Does this come from any Star Trek episode you guys know of? Because it looks so familiar, but I couldn't place it. And now I gotta wait 6 minutes. I really think that the ship is from the past. Okay. Maybe. Cool. Anyway, Laura, got to head out. Glad to see you analyzing this. Catch you later. Talk to you later, brother. Love not Star Trek in Star Trek. Okay. Remember, on TNG, the Klingons will use some D7s along with the Vorcha class. If it's Alaska in the present, it's probably not cold. Maybe. Is it the Vulcan Logic game? It looks so familiar. I feel like we've seen them play this before. Solid old man beard on Riker. Yep. Vulcan of Voyager, I think. Okay. It looks like the Pyramid game from the original Battlestar Galactica. That's what it is. The show is called Picard, but it won't be about Jean-Luc. I doubt the TNG cast will last long beyond the first season. We've talked about this, Darth Peachy. I think it will be about Jean-Luc. I think that this will have him as the main character and a focus, but it is unfair to ask a 69-year-old man, or 79-year-old, however old he is, to carry the weight or burden of an entire show. So to have the others more speak up, more say hi, more be in the action than him isn't unreasonable. So, to be fair, it's 47 degrees in Anchorage right now. God, I wish it was near that here. All right, now we're getting to it. So we see, by the way, Secure152 helping out the channel. Love what you're doing with the channel. Keep up the great work. Really, really appreciate it. Hey, I really appreciate you appreciating it. Thank you for supporting the channel. All right, so here we have those same ships, the ships we were talking about. They're not green here, they're blue. That's interesting to me. That could be just an aesthetic change, but I wonder if there's something to that. Additionally, you see what they're attacking right here? You see that? Let's go back to it. Look in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner, middle. See those two ships? Or star bases? Then we go back. Look at that. That is what they're attacking. It's just from a different angle. It looks like it may be in space, but I swear to you, it's the same thing. Has to be. And so this is the second time we've seen these. I'm wondering if after Picard visits and finds out about what's going on with data and more information, if that place isn't attacked again. And then you have your cliche, they're trying to hit it before he gets there. Just said on Trek Yards, I'm okay if Picard just lasts for 2 to 3 seasons if it's written well. I'd be okay with that too. Who wouldn't be okay with that? My predictions, Picard will get bumped off within the first season. I don't think so. I disagree. They're already starting principal. They're going to have principal photography. That's actually incompletely correct. Principal photography is starting soon for season 2. They're locked in for 2 seasons at least. Welcome to the channel, Simon. I don't think it's Starbase 1. I don't think so. It doesn't look like Starbase 1 to me. Oh, wait, it can't be Starbase 1 because Discovery said Starbase 1 is that stupid-ass Starbase that was taken over by the Klingons. So Space Dock, which was the first one ever created, by the way, in the original series, is not Starbase 1. Can't be. God, I hate that show. Oh, it's bad writing. Please learn Star Trek. If you're going to be a Star Trek writer, that's great. I'm happy for you. CBS will never let me near a Star Trek set. I've already accepted that. But, oh my God, please learn your background. Oh, it's just bad writing. Defense platform after the Breen attack. Maybe. Has to last 7 seasons. It has to. I'm talking about Jean-Luc, the character. The Picard the title refers to will be his daughter who will take over the main character. No, Darth PG. That is a dumb... I'm sorry. It's not personal towards the channel that comes from, but that is ridiculous. I just cannot see them being that bad, be that bad faith of an actor. We know Picard is in season 2. We know that. Oni Kitsune, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. It helps me out more than you know. That would be a very bad faith action. I don't believe that at all. All the other predictions that went along with that have been inaccurate. I don't think that it's going to be the daughter. I really don't. Kind of looks like the mining platform. Maybe. It's a defense platform, then it's not a good one. Yeah, it could be a defense platform, but I mean, it looks like, again, it looks like, where is it? Looks like that thing. Tell me I'm wrong. It looks exactly like the thing in the top right-hand corner right here, or in the middle. All right. We got 7 of 9. We got her looking out at the board Q. No, maybe, I think. We got Zoe with a gun, I guess. Maybe a Romulan phaser. Here's an interesting scene. What the... I'll tell you what this looks like to me. I don't think it is, but I'll tell you what this looks like to me. This looks like Species 8472. How interesting would it be if she is a shapeshifter from Species 8472? It honest to God looks like that to me. Maybe research stations set up around Borg tech on planets. Maybe. Glad to be of service. Thank you for yours. Well, thank you. What do you guys think? Because that looks like being infected. It can't, and I don't know what the heck has hurt her. It can't be the sun. We see her in the sun. I thought that at first. Maybe she can't be out in the light of day, but it's not that. So why is she frying? Not Berkeley, it's broccoli. Okay. Well, if it's a defense platform, it could be designed to fight off large ships and not built for fighter bombers. Could be. Star Trek Discovery only needs Mazza as a guest. I hate... Yeah, you're saying that to trigger me. I do not like Carlos Mazza. He hurts everybody. I don't think it's the phage. Doesn't look like the phage at all. Doesn't work like the phage either. But it does look like Species 8472. Varion radiation. I mean, that'd kill everybody there, though. I think you're right. That's just a night attack on the target. EMP on the plane. Yeah, going back to what we were talking about before, I think it's the same thing we saw there, and it was a night attack. And it was, they angled it differently to make it look different, so you couldn't instantly tell. It's an EMP on the implants? Man, how devastating would that be? I never even thought of that. She's getting shocked by a Romulan anti-Borg gun thing. Maybe. Does Species 8472 infest people like that? No, they don't, Deckfish. What if she is Species 8472? What if she... Because we know they can change what they look like. What if she is a Species 8472 shapeshifter, gets stunned, and her real... what she really looks like comes out? Dude, I'm watching on my TV and live is working on it for the first time. It normally just loads. Okay, don't know what you're talking about there, but I hope you figure that one out, buddy. Jean-Luc gets killed off. They'll name the ship Picard. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't know. Then we have him happy. We have the Normandy running at this point. And then we have this scene, which again is fan service. I said this on my Twitter, which you guys should check out. Twitter.com/Lore Reloaded. Definitely follow me there. Twitch.tv/Lore Reloaded. I like to play a lot of games. This is fan service, and it's cool, and people took it wrong. I even put this on my community chat, and people took it wrong. Man, this makes me feel old. I was a kid when I watched TNG. When I first saw Riker say, fire. When I saw him make those decisions. And now just to see the actors looking like they do just makes me realize that what has it been, like about 20 years or so? Oh my God. Anyway, I don't know. Well, they never did talk about what would have happened if Chiroti designed anti-Borg virus would have done. Maybe. Geordi. 8472 can only change their form through gene therapy. Okay. So, I think it's cool. I think that having them together and talking and him working through it is interesting fan service. I hope they do more with the characters than just go get them, Tiger. But just looking at the characters makes me feel so old. I don't know. How did he step over the chair when it's back to the lake? That's true. Maybe he jumped over it. And that, as they say, is that. So, those are ultimately my thoughts on what we were seeing beforehand on the ships and everything. Are the Borg still active after the end of Voyager? We know at least one is. We know at least one Borg cube survived. And Hugh's still there. Speaking of Geordi, the LeVar got snubbed. Hopefully they'll bring him back. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? How do you feel about all this? Where do you think it's going? People keep asking me if I'm excited. I'm really intrigued. And I think if I didn't feel so slighted by Discovery, that I would be excited. You know? Borg, Dominion, Cardassian, everyone else, the Federation screwed, unite, and fight off. Miss Love, you're silly. Why did you keep calling the ship the Normandy? Because it looks like the Normandy. It looks like the Normandy from Mass Effect. I'm making fun of it, just like I'm making fun of Space Legolas, just like I'm making fun of Captain Manspreader, making fun of Kaylee and Zoe. These are archetype characters. The ship is it feels uninspired. I'm making fun of the fact that they're just hitting the beats and not necessarily making something. 1984 was when I was born as well, Charles Ryan Lee. They need to have Guinan and Beverly on this show, more so than Riker and Troy. I'd love to see Guinan. I think that'd be really cool. I think they need to be careful just where it's going in it. Maybe. All right, guys, you have any other comments, anything else you want to add to it? I think we're going to end it here. 230 people watching, 145 likes. Hit that like button. Come on. Don't be scared of it. I think it should be all right. What do you guys think? Let's end on that. What are your thoughts? Do you think, based on what's showing us, if it's going to be good? I, again, hope it'll be good. I'm 10 years older than you, Deckfish. That's fantastic. That makes me feel great, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me that. I think I'm glad Space got it, so I don't need to give CBS a cent. That's true. 2019, Discovery happened, and Patrick Stewart is a hardcore lefty. I'm scared more than excited. I think there's some validity to that. He really liked Discovery, and the writers from Discovery are there. But they said it's going to be different. Maybe there's no fish in the lake. I get the reference. I get the Stargate reference. It's 50-50 par. I have hopes that it'll be a final ride. 50-50 better than Discovery. Star Trek Picard, literally all you have to do is not F it up if you can. I've been watching it for 40 years. I'm really excited to see the Traveler ship. I saw nothing wrong with the trailer. I think we're in the clear. Trailers lie. The Discovery trailer lied. Oh my God. Didn't get me interested at all. It has potential. I'm afraid it's just fan service. You're still sexy as heck, man. If I'm half as good as you and some dude's mom, I'd be happy. Okay, well, I thank you, I guess. The last few years of Trek has been nothing but fail. Why would it change now? Because you still have the ability for it to be good. I don't know. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to keep an open mind, and I hope it's going to be good. I'm going to keep an open mind with Discovery Season 3, too. I think a lot of the hatred for it is completely overdone. Completely. But let's end this how we did all the others. Here we go. Here we go. It's going to be fun. Wait for it. If she watches her emails, she's not going to do it, though. She's going to know. Let me be ready to hit that end button before I dox somebody. Answer the phone.
Your call has been forwarded.
Sad. No Philly cheese for me. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Lord Reload. Oh, and I'm going to have an upload tomorrow breaking it down like we have here. You guys have to watch it. That was the agreement. Talk to you later.